Hey guys, it's Jessey from PS4Daily.com here, and I'm with Scott Benson, who's one of the creators with Night in the Woods, which is running right behind me. Oh, and we also have a guest in, Alec Colocos, who is another developer from Night in the Woods. So, I guess say hi, you guys.
Hey. What's up?
Alright, so what exactly is Night in the Woods?
It's kind of like a game about confronting death and eating donuts.
It's an adventure game. You're running around, just being in a space and talking to people and kind of following just this autumn that's taking place in this town amongst this group of characters. And you get to run and jump all over the place and kind of figure out what people are up to, work at things with your paws and eat donuts and break stuff and hang out.
So like, I noticed like in the first part of the demo, like I think to the subway, there wasn't any like running or jumping or any platforming segments. Is that something that comes on later on in the game, or?
Yeah, actually in the demo you can hop off of some taller things and get on the power lines and start running around some of the tops of the buildings, and there's different characters up there. Since they're kind of animal people, the more agile ones can balance and run and jump all over and different stuff. But it's more for exploration as opposed to like here's like a fire that you have to jump over or something. It's all just to kind of get around. And also since we wanted to have like a lot of exploration and have kind of a larger, more interesting world, like we didn't want to just have like her walking around everywhere, so we wanted to make it kind of fun. And I like putting like cool stuff like, you know, like the power lines, like you can bounce on them and stuff, so it's just kind of fun to play around. Which I think works with the theme of May just hanging out, you know, idly, not knowing what to do with herself. You know, she's just going up and screwing around on things. And hopefully people are like doing that too.
So from what I understand so far, it's a coming-of-age story about May. What exactly made you guys choose like a coming-of-age story?
Me, personally, it was, I was about to turn 30, right, when we started working on this, and for me that was kind of like a moment of just like, oh shit, I can't pretend that I'm like a 20-something anymore. I'm like, actually, but that number is going to change. It's going to be a whole other number. So it just got me thinking about how the passage of time is really inevitable. And that's my big inspiration coming into this, is just sort of realizing that and how things are going to change. And you just have a limited amount of time of which to do things in. And that's kind of going to factor into the game too, in terms of like decisions that you get to make. Like, am I going to hang out with this friend or that friend? And like, you have to pick. And you might not know if one is going to be better than the other or what, but things will change because of that decision.
So like, does that mean the game's going to? Does that mean like the game's gonna have like different endings, or is choosing to hang out with one friend versus the other gonna make an impact?
Most of the decisions are gonna be kind of like small personal decisions, rather than like, oh, do you want to like destroy this town or save it? Like, because those decisions kind of get a bit silly when they're blown up to that scale and a bit too binary, and we want stuff that's more complex, more subtle. So for example, in the demo, you climb up to the top of the building to find your friend Greg, who's missing, and he's stolen a garden gnome, and he's hiding up there with his garden gnome. You can decide if you want to throw the garden gnome off the top of the building or not. And that just changes what happens after slightly, and you hear a slightly different version of the story after that. But it's not like a dramatic, like, and then someone dies because the gnome hits him in the head, and oh my god. It's like, no, it's just like, now you have a gnome buddy, or you miss the gnome because it's gone. And then the story and the dialogue plays out slightly differently because of that. And the full game will have lots more of those kind of subtle decisions. And the interesting thing is watching players play through that part, they actually take a while to make that choice because they know that they can't just undo it. Like, they would have to go back and replay everything. So it's like they're actually thinking, like, which is neat. I wasn't expecting that. Expecting them to be like, oh, whatever. It's like, no, they actually are, what do I want to do with this garden now? So I think, yeah, we're going to do a lot more of that kind of stuff.
So I noticed, like, in the synopsis for the game, it talked about Mai coming home from college, dropping out, and how when she goes back to her friends, she's noticed that they've changed. Now, is this a change that we're going to see in the game? Like, are we going to see her friends when they were younger, or is Mai just going to make like subtle references to how they were before she went off to college?
I think you're going to hear a lot of references and like in stories about kind of what they did when they were younger. But it takes place like we're not doing like any like flashback mode where you're then going to go play as May as a teenager. But you're going to hear her talking because this is a hard transition for her, seeing her best friend Greg and his boyfriend trying to leave for the city, and her saying, "No, I just got back. Like we need to make this last." And they're saying, "We need to move and go and do on other things." So it's definitely going to be talked about a lot in the game, and I think throughout this is less a game about watching those characters grow and more about watching May kind of accept this and try to figure out what she's doing with her life as she goes on. And you'll see growth in May as a character. She's not always going to make the right decisions in things, but it's just definitely like that transitional period is definitely something we're going to be exploring a lot with it.
And so, like, I heard that the game has, or Mai discovers that she has powers later on in the game. Can you go into a little bit of detail about those?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Can you go into a little bit of details about Mai's abilities or powers?
Oh, May. No, not yet.
There's a lot of the game we're not talking about yet. So the demo and what we're talking about now represents some of like the early game stuff that you'll be kind of working with, but things move and change throughout into some stuff that we're probably not going to be talking about much.
One of the things that helps to get a handle on is this isn't a typical game. It's not a game where you're going to be running around shooting shit or like blowing stuff up or cutting things or punching stuff or jumping over pits. It's just not about that. So I feel like some people like come in there like, oh, where's the like upgrade tree? Where's the quest log? And it's like that stuff's not going to be in it. It's just not.
It's not what we're doing with it. Those things are fine, but like it's just not what we're doing with it. So May will kind of grow and progress, but it's not like at some point she's going to like be able to shoot stuff or like do a double, like a triple jump. Well, actually there's a triple jump, but not in the air. She's not going to gain the ability to teleport or anything like that. The progression is more of her character and the story as they go along.
So the name Night in the Woods obviously implies that there's something going on in the woods. Are you willing to talk about that, or are you just still sticking to what's going on in the demo?
We're being pretty cagey about that, except for it's something bad. It's something pretty bad.
And what platforms is Night in the Woods coming to?
Right now it's coming to PC, Mac, Linux, and PS4.
No PS Vita plans?
We're still looking into it. We just got a Vita dev kit a little before this, so we're still looking into it. The Vita's a very different system with very different requirements than the other ones that we're developing for. So we'll see. We'll see in the future.
All right, well, thank you guys for the fantastic interview. And guys, I'm Jessey from PS4Daily.com, and I'll try and get some more footage later.